Hello Earthlings, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, hope you're all doing really well. Just thought we'd have a little chat about stress, about having to appear in court. Then if you guys, any of you out there have ever had to appear in court for one reason or another, whether you're the one taking people to court or you're the complainant, or whether someone's taking you to court or criminal courts. Court, in my experience, is a very, very stressful thing to go through. It's something where you have a complete loss of control. The control is with the judge and the clerk and the people who work there all the time. As we all know, a certain person will be giving evidence in court this week, perhaps Monday. I don't know. I've looked around, but I'm sure somebody out there has got the exact court listings, maybe. So Harry's going to give evidence, and last night I looked around to see what I could find, and from what I could find it seemed that Harry's team, I could be wrong, but it looked like Harry's team had released a sort of how can I put it, like a manual of why this is happening to Reuters, who then it was regurgitated and repeated in various publications along the lines of, why is Harry suing? Who is Harry suing? What is he suing for? What does he hope to achieve? That sort of thing. And they were all verbatim, all of them. And that he will be the first royal to give evidence since, I think it was Edward VII, when he was the Prince of Wales. I think it was. He was cited in a divorce case. I can't remember which one. I remember my parents going on about it. Not that they were alive in the days of Edward VII, but I mean, it was a big doodah, so people were still talking about it when they were children and middle-aged. And from what I understand, he went and gave evidence, but they weren't really allowed to cross-examine him. But times were different then. And he was the Prince of Wales. He was the direct heir to the throne. I'm sure it was Edward VII, but it might have been a different one, but I'm pretty sure it was. That's what was so shocking about it, because his nickname was Dirty Bertie. Whether that was fair or not, I don't know. But I think it'll be quite different for the, what is he, 5th in line, 6th in line, 7th in line, something in line to the throne. I think he will be cross-examined. I think Harry will be cross-examined, and I think that's going to come as the shock of his life. Because he's hardly taken on the tough interviews, has he? Remember I wrote to him all those years ago? Remember I read the letter out to you? In fact, I'll put a link in the description here. It was a long time ago. I sort of felt sorry for him then, but I've seen other sides of his character. We all have our dark side and our good side, but the sides I've seen of him are so far removed from his mother and his father. And it just comes across as everybody around him has always let him get away with what he wants, including people like Tom Bradby, when he had that sort of stunned look on his face, and when Harry said, "We never said there was racism in the British royal family, the press said that." Yeah, me too, Tom. Me too. I was shocked. Oprah let him off the hook, off the hook, off the hook. Didn't query them, didn't question anything, didn't at any stage say, well, hang on, guys. Meghan said it happened during her pregnancy, and you're now saying it happened before even the wedding. And you're saying there was one time, but she's saying there were many conversations. You know, Oprah let them off the hook. Gayle King, of course, lets them off the hook all the time. Everybody who interviews him lets him off the hook. Does he really think a defence barrister, a KC, is going to let him off the hook? Does he really think that if they ask him a question he doesn't like, he'll go, "Fuck off with his head, I'm leaving the court," and flounce out? Does he not understand the power that the judge has within that court? My dad told me a story years ago for those new earthlings that are joining our tea club. I haven't got a cup of tea today. I just thought I fancied a change. I thought I'd come and sit up here for a bit. Graham's videoing something downstairs. Yeah, my dad told me this story years ago, and he told me loads of horror stories about the judiciary. He used to say they had judgeitis, which meant they were little megalomaniacs. Well, there was a court somewhere, and the RAF were just perpetually flying their jets low over it and making the whole back room shake. And my dad said the High Court judge had the base commander in the court up in front of him, tore strips off him in front of everybody in the court. And I said to my dad, you know, wouldn't the guy defend himself? And he said no, because that judge in that room has the power to send him for contempt of court. They have so much power. Another time my dad remembered that a police officer had accidentally, shut a judge's hand in the car door. You know, he'd opened it like the chauffeur, he's a police officer, he's protecting. Judge got out, advanced years, still had his hand, and the police officer didn't realise, slammed the door shut. Judge hit the roof. My dad said, you just don't want to know the sentences that everybody got that day. And he said, that's just so unprofessional. Okay, the guy's in pain, but he said, none of us dare tell him. Judges are a rule unto themselves. And even when you think that you've got a slam dunk, 100% winnable case, you can still lose. Look at Warby. He was presented, or the Court of Appeal was presented with slam dunk evidence, written confessions. Oh, I'm sorry, we misremembered. In any other country, in any other land, in any other time, would you or I or any of us be let off the hook that easily? So this week that approaches, I shall be watching with interest and listening, not only to see how Harry copes in the witness box, which, believe me, I mean, he thinks, oh, I've lived a public life, it's just like public speaking. If he's going into this, and obviously I don't know, if he's going into this full of confidence, they will tear him to pieces, because what you have to do before you get in a witness box is prepare yourself for the worst and hope for the best. And I doubt he's doing that. And even if he is doing that, and he's nervous and he's worried he'll say the wrong thing, they will still tear him to pieces. I dare say that the silks right now are sitting, and have been for weeks, having lots of conferences about every single conceivable angle. Now, Harry's not renowned as an accurate person, or someone, I wouldn't go as far as to say Harry's a liar, because I'm not sure he remembers or is actually quite with it all the time. In fact, I think he's quite absent-minded in a manner of speaking, if you know what I mean. He'll get himself tangled up in knots. And in this sort of Prince Harry for Dummies manual that they released, they say, why is he doing this? Because it's going to be his life's ambition to clean the press up for all of us plebs. Not for him, for all of us plebs. Really? Really? Because there are people out there right now getting eaten alive by the press. I can think of at least one. Oh, I saw a really funny little, I won't go into that, Philip Schofield. It's like a little video of Coronation Street, but anyway, that's another subject. But he's getting eaten alive at the moment. I mean, I'm not jumping on the fence either way, but if Harry feels people don't get a fair hearing, surely he'd be there ringing old Schofield up. Oh, I'll help you out, mate, I'll help you out. I'm sure it's just malicious rumours. Or where was he years ago? Or do we ever see him talking to other yeah, he's got these other co-claimants, but I haven't heard him speaking publicly about, oh, isn't it shocking that what they did to so-and-so, what they did to them. It's always, isn't it shocking what they did to me? Isn't it shocking what they did to me? And Meghan. I don't hear him talking, speaking up, and there are plenty of people out there who are not rich and famous, who are torn to shreds by the newspapers, who don't have a cat in hell's chance. They haven't got a bean to rub with another bean to sue someone for defamation. Those are the kind of people that need a bit of help when it comes to the press. And actually, the press self-regulate themselves a lot more these days than they ever did before. And it's an ever-evolving situation. But it will be interesting to see, especially after they just said, oh, well, we're going to hide away, you're not going to hear from us anymore. All right, I think we're going to hear some stuff this week. I think we're going to hear plenty this week. And of course, over Mirror court cases, the Daily Mail will be doing big pieces, and over Mail, the Mirror will be doing big pieces, and the Times and the Telegraph can have a field day, aren't they? Left, right and centre, literally. I mean, he's got so many lawsuits, he's suing everybody. What a waste of life, what a waste of money, what a waste of time. Nobody has asked him to fix the press. Nobody needs him to fix the press. He has 2 little children, allegedly. Why? They are growing up. Every day is precious. Life can throw you a curveball, Harry, as you know from your mum. Here today and gone tomorrow. What a waste of time and energy and money. What he needs to do is get himself out of these lawsuits. Stop letting people around him encourage him to get in deeper and deeper and deeper, because you don't make money out of lawsuits. I see people saying, Meghan makes a living out of suing people. Having grown up above a law practice with full of lawyers and clients, and having had my own trials and tribulations with courts, if you think that you can make money suing people for a living, well, that they say if you want to find a small fortune, take a big one to a lawsuit, because you'll be left with a small one if you're lucky. So, I mean, it's a ludicrous way to make money. You're better off going down the casino and putting it on 17 black than suing somebody, because there are so many variables and personalities, the judges being a major one. They'll lie, but they might not like you. They might jump that way, don't like the way you look at them. It might be you said something political. He might get a judge who is one of us. Might get a judge who's one of his team. But all the same knows the world is watching, because it's the first time a member of the royal family has been, ever cross-examined, because I don't think the previous case they were really cross-examined. I also see Christopher Boozy's getting quite sloppy. I'm not going to name any YouTubers because I hold them in high esteem. But if you want, have a peek at Christopher Boozy's Twitter feed, and there is a picture of a plastic tiara. And I do remember there was a troll channel here on YouTube, which is now defunct. I don't know if YouTube took it down or they deleted it themselves, but they were having a go at this very well-known YouTuber, and I'm pretty sure, can't be 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure they used that same picture and wording. Isn't that interesting that Christopher Boozy, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, and I wouldn't want to start any vicious rumours about Christopher Boozy, the bully. Oh, who, by the way, was featured on Harry and Meghan's Netflix docuseries, of which they had complete and editorial control. I do love to drive that nail home. So yes, old Windsor, he's gonna feel very nervous. And in the letter that I wrote him years ago, I don't even know if I can find the video now. I think it's called something like Dear Prince Harry. It's on my channel somewhere. I'm pretty sure I said to him, get a really good friend to interview you and ask all the worst questions, really bad, really get under your skin, really wind you up in order to prepare you for having an interview with someone like Piers Morgan, rather than taking the soft option with Oprah. But, oh no, he took the soft option with Oprah. This is not going to be a soft option, is it? It will be very interesting. There could be a rude awakening. There could be a very, very shocked, very flushed looking face. And he doesn't strike me as a person who can hide his feelings or control his temper. So might be like Heather Mills when she poured a glass of water over Fiona Shackleton's head in the court. But Fiona Shackleton came out and she looked gorgeous with her hair all wet and slicked back. And of course she won because Heather lost her cool. So there might be a Heather Mills moment. And I did look up John Leslie just before I go. And I looked up previous presenters of This Morning because I seem to remember John Leslie was wrongly accused of a load of bad stuff like rape and things, and he left This Morning and he was replaced by Schofield. And I looked on a Wikipedia page and I think that really was the way. So it'd be interesting to see how far back all this story goes, because a lot of people say they don't like Philip Schofield, they don't think he's very nice. I really don't have an opinion one way or the other on it. I'm really interested in the PR, and who presents This Morning is I don't live in the UK, so I don't watch it anymore. I used to. But anyway, so what are your thoughts and opinions? How badly will he fall apart? Or will the defence have a really rubbish barrister? Or will Harry start to hyperventilate and say, he's making me cry, And will he have a Judge Warby step in and say, you're making him cry, I release the witness from the box? What will happen? I suppose anything can happen. And I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, as always. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you very much for listening.